States. So we're going to fight for opportunity for all, regardless of what, and I wish the new president well, and I hope he's successful, but what I hope he's really successful at is doing what people who voted for him want him to do, which is to help the working class and to help create opportunity.
So even if it's just now, the structure has a different name, as long as the money gets to where you feel it needs to go.
It's not, remember, the department was part of the HPW initiative, Health and Education and Welfare. And frankly, what we're looking for is every single kid should have a safe and welcoming environment. That's something that Linda McMahon has talked about. We need to have more opportunities for young people. So workforce development, career and technical training. But we also have to deal with mental health issues. We got to deal with social media issues. So this notion of form over substance is something that I, of course, won't fight to keep the money. But let's make sure we can be more efficient. But let's make sure we help each and every child. So that means dignity for all and opportunity for all.
You mentioned Linda McMahon, that is who Trump wants to be the education secretary. Are you sensing any energy for resistance among the teachers you represent?
Well, I think our members, the teachers I represent, the teachers and nurses I represent, they want to make sure that our kids are protected. So, they're really worried that somebody's going to come in and try to deport kids from a school. And the school should be safe and welcoming. Think about the kind of anxiety that's going to cause so many children if there are, all of a sudden, there are deportations from school. Think about all the things that we try to do to make sure we create dignity for all and opportunity for all. So they're really worried about this, and they have a lot of energy for fighting for our kids and fighting for our families. And let me say one more thing, which is if you look at the election returns, in every state, even states that voted overwhelmingly for Donald Trump, they voted overwhelmingly for public schools. So let's transform public schools. Let's have career technical education. Let's deal with mental health issues. Let's make sure that our kids are literate.
Real quick, I only got 30 seconds here. I just want to know how this resistance will be different from, say, 2017 after Trump took office last time.
Because it's not going to be about just on the streets yelling and saying resist. It's going to be about trying to force the new president to do his job and to keep the promises that he's made to working people, not just to the billionaires, but to working people.
All right, Randy Weingarten is president of the American Federation of Teachers. Randy, thanks for spending the morning with us.
Thank you.
And to believe as a business person that getting there.
The Lions on the road in Detroit files.
Monday, MLK Day, Inauguration Day. It's your girl Edva with you guys till 10 o'clock. Gonna kick off this Monday morning with Creepin'. Somebody said they saw you. The person you were kissing wasn't me. And I would never ask you. I just kept it to
Nova model, I put you on the runway. You was rocking Coach bags, got you Sinead. Side to Frisco, I call her my baby. I got a girl, but I still feel alone. If you plan me, that be my.
And turn us all the way up.
Depending on where you are, you may have gotten as much as even a foot in a few isolated spots. At least to the north, or a little more to the south. We've got days where it's pretty fast, and quiet is even pretty. It's still fresh and light, and it'll be glittery once the sun comes to the sun. Get out, enjoy it today. If you can, it's dirty. That happens quickly. Coming up next, someone whose name means simple.
Hi, it's Chris from Prescott. And I'm back again. Today I'm going to talk to you about our sub-pump service department. So many homeowners I talk to have an old, ugly pit or 5-gallon bucket tucked away in the corner of the basement somewhere. Something healthy with shoelaces and duct tape. Kids' toys still in the bottom of the pit from the last time the basement flooded because the pump didn't turn on. Maybe it was some pump system you had installed a few years ago and you just want to check out. At Rescon, we have an entire service department dedicated to transforming your pit and pump into a well-oiled machine. Right now, for only $135, you can get one of our certified technicians to come out to your house and perform 10 points of pump maintenance. Stay ahead of hurricanes and major storms. Make sure your sump is ready to pump. Contact us today at 800-410-0262 or visit us at ybwet.com. That's ybwet.com.
The Staples are here.
I'm so pumped. My business is gonna kill it this year.
Awesome. How can I help?
First,
With Staples Home and Appliances, we save big on tech.
and new posters.
Save on custom printing too.
And
Combat went to prison last year rather than cooperate with the congressional investigation of Trump's bid to overthrow
against artificial intelligence. TV monitors on the wall showed that day's Senate confirmation hearings, and TV cameras in the room showed Bannon. He says he's not going into the second Trump administration, but plans to have a voice. Do you talk much to Trump these days?
Enough, and he watches the show.
Bannon is live streaming 4 hours per weekday and 2 more on Saturday, 22 hours per week.
You know, I've chosen to do this, right? So it's what I do.
Though he made a fortune working at Goldman Sachs and in Hollywood, the 71-year-old says he draws on his working class roots to hire on activists.
This show is built for people's human agency.
As part of its working class pitch, Bannon calls for higher taxes on the wealthy, although Trump has done the opposite. A big theme of Bannon's show is the 2020 election. A regular guest, Mike Lindell, filmmaker, said just last week the election was stolen.
I want everybody to know I have a 90-page report coming out from my election bureau.
And saying he will release proof soon, which he's been saying for years. Bannon himself is in a unique position. 8 years ago, he was Trump's wealthy advisor, pushing dramatic moves like what was known as the Muslim ban. Today, Trump has a far wealthier advisor, Elon Musk. Bannon explains Trump's embrace of the billionaires by saying they surrendered to Trump, who's putting his trophies on display.
We will break all these guys. Eventually, they're broken right now because what's happening on Monday with the tech oligarchs.
Indoors or outdoors,
God, I wanted it outdoors and make them freeze. I'm really upset about that. They're not there because they support Trump. They're there because the Trump movement and President Trump broke them.
Bannon acknowledged that Musk is in a special category. He embraced Trump sooner than others, invested hundreds of millions of dollars in Trump's victory, and now, like Bannon, wants to hack away at the federal government. And yet, you've been very critical of it in recent days. Why?
Number one, it came up to a head about the H-1B visas. We're populist. We believe American citizens should come first in everything.
Musk, the South African immigrant, spoke up for a visa program that lets U.S. firms bring in high-skilled engineers and others, which Musk says is good for America. Bring in the talent like a sports team. Bannon rejects that whole idea.
Why are we trying to be an imperial power? Why they say we need the best and the brightest? Well, hold it. The best and the brightest is going to come from American citizens. I don't want to sit here and take the world's best and most elite and biggest brains and put in the United States. What's going to make their countries better?
Bannon has called Musk, quote, truly evil. He was upset when Musk wrote approvingly of somebody's social media post, a post that used a word many people find offensive to describe American workers. This feels like way more than a disagreement about H-1B.
No, it's a fundamental chasm on it. Let's go back to H-1B. Here's what that set me and Mike got engaged. He called the American citizens retards, the R word. He dissed the MAGA movement as being racist, which is the old trope that the left used to do. He used all the left tropes to come after us. These oligarchs in the Silicon Valley, they have a very different view of how people should govern themselves. I call it techno-feudalism. They don't believe underlying tenets of self-governance.
But as Trump finalized his plans for the tech lord-centric inauguration, the president-elect told an interviewer he favored H-1B visas.
President Trump and I disagree on this. He adamantly disagrees with this.
What does it say that Trump listened to the people you consider to be oligarchs and not to you?
Well, hang on a second. Why do you say this? Just because he said, I think I agreed with them. Let's see how that plays out.